Hello M3, this is Teacher Bean and this is the last lesson for Unit 3 of Materials. So the topic for this video is about composites. For further information about composites, so you can read pages 134 to 136 of your book. So what are composites, or what is a composite? So a composite material is formed by combining two or more different materials. So like for example, I have here like your material A. So this is like your material A. So this is material A. Shall we say this one is tough, meaning strong. And then I also have here your material B. Shall we say which is light, meaning not heavy. So if you combine these two composite materials, so you will get, okay, this product, which is your product C, so which is a combination of tough and light. So this is how your composite material works. So you combine two different material to produce one strong material. So in making or combining your composite material, so there are two things that you have to remember. Number one is your matrix, and number two is your reinforcement. So if we talk about your matrix, it is used for binding. It's used for holding the reinforcement together. And if you talk about your reinforcement, so they are the materials that gives strength or to make your composite strong and at the same time hard or stiff. Now, let's look at our example of your composite. So we have here your carbon fiber. So your carbon fiber can be found in airplanes or in sporting materials such as your tennis racket, your golf clubs, or even your hockey sticks. So carbon fiber is a bit expensive. However, it's very useful when you play sports because it's light and at the same time it's very strong. So let's watch this video about this carbon fiber composite. So you have there your carbon and then your epoxy, which is a type of resin. Now, from that video, so we can identify the two components of your composite. You have your matrix and your reinforcement. From that video, it is your epoxy or resin that is your matrix because it holds or binds together your carbon, which is your reinforcement. So what are the different uses of your composites? So there are two identified applications or uses. The first one is your concrete and your second one is your fiberglass. So the number one is your concrete, which is very common in buildings or in houses or in roads. So wherein your concrete has a combination of your cement, sand, and your aggregate, or also known as your crushed stone. So what do you think is our matrix and what do you think is our reinforcement? So our matrix here will be your cement combined with water because it will act as a glue or paste that will hold your aggregates and sand. Your aggregates and sand are your reinforcement because these two, aggregates and sand, provides durability, meaning it's strong enough to hold pressure or any stress in your buildings or houses. The second application of your composite is your fiberglass, wherein fiberglass is a modern composite compound, wherein it is composed of plastic and glass, wherein the glass is made into fine threads. Look at the picture. So fine threads which can be stick or woven together into sheets and will form in a complex shape. So fiberglass is very good for this application because it is strong and has a good insulator of heat. So meaning it does not get warm or hot quickly. And also it does not shrink. So meaning it does not get smaller. And it does not tear. So meaning even if you wear it many times, so it will not be easily destroyed. Now, let's go to your page 137 and let's answer together the questions there. So once again, what is a composite? A composite is a combination of two or more different materials. So when you combine them, so you have to make sure that one is matrix and one is a reinforcement. Number two, as shown in the figure above, which material can be the matrix? Which material can be the reinforcement? What are their properties supposed to be to create a composite? So we have to know that your A is considered to be your reinforcement because it is tough and can provide support in your composite. Your B, or the figure B there, acts as your matrix because it is used to hold or bind the reinforcement together, and at the same time it will maintain the shape of your composite. Number 3, concrete is made up of aggregates, sand, Portland cement, and water. Which materials are the matrix and which ones are the reinforcement? So I've mentioned already about concrete in your applications of your composites. So the matrix there, okay, it was water and cement because they will act as a glue or paste. And you have there your reinforcements, which are your aggregates and your sand. Number 4, if you are going to create a composite that is ductile, strong, and resistant to weather and high temperatures, which materials will use as the matrix and the reinforcement? So you want something that you can stretch it, however it's also strong, and also it does not wear or it does not destroy it easily by weather conditions and high temperature. So for matrix, you are going to use metal because it is ductile and strong. And for your reinforcement, I will use the ceramic because it has high resistance to weather changes and high temperatures. Number 5, give an example of composites that explain their composition. So you can have different answers for this one, but for me, I'll choose this glass reinforced plastic because it consists of plastic, which can be my matrix, and my glass fibers, which can be my reinforcement. Now, let's continue our lesson to page 137, which is the impact of polymers, ceramics, and composites. After learning different materials like your polymers, your ceramics, and your composites, so if you look at their different properties, you can have like high resistance to heat and corrosive. It is strong. It is low density. So something like these materials are made to be strong and will last almost forever, right? Which is, if you're going to imagine if these materials are not destroyed or cannot be destroyed naturally, so what will happen to our environment is that we will be having more waste that is so-called non-biodegradable. Non-biodegradable, so meaning they are not destroyed by ordinary means. So what will happen is that our environment will suffer. That's why government nowadays are pushing this 3 Rs, which is your recycle, reuse, and reduce. If we talk about reduce, so this one, so it means using less resources and using them wisely. So like for example, so when you go to Tesco or Big C, so instead of buying plastic bags there, so normally you're going to use cloth bag or you are going to lessen the use of your plastic, right? So some of you will be using paper bags or cloth bags instead of plastic. Next is you have your reuse. Reuse is like using your old items again instead of throwing them. So like for example, so you have your old clothes there, or any clothes that you are not using it anymore. So you have the option to either donate it or give it to charity, or you can use it again if it's not yet worn, meaning it's not yet ugly to look at. And then number three, so we have your recycle. So recycle is like you're going to change this one into another product. So like for example, so you have here your plastic bottles. So after drinking your favorite soda or your mineral water, so maybe you're going to use that plastic bottle as your plant holder, or it can be your coin bank, right? So there are many ways to use your plastic bottles. Or maybe your old paper, right? So if you have a newspaper there, or old newspaper that you're not using it, so maybe you can use it to uh, wrap a gift for your friend, or it can be used to like the art and craft, like your paper mache. So you're going to use the folded paper to design or to create something out of your old newspaper. Okay, so another way of saving your environment aside from your recycling, reducing, and reusing, so we also have this waste management ways to separate the different materials or objects into biodegradable and non-biodegradable. So you can see in the picture, so you have their colored bins, wherein each colored bin has different pictures that will show you what does it use for. So first is we have this blue bin. So your blue bin is for your general waste. This one is for your general waste. So it can be maybe your snack bags or any food containers that you don't want to use it anymore. Okay. Next is we have your green trash bin. So your green is for biodegradable waste. So for your biodegradable waste, so these are maybe your food or any fruits that has got old and somewhat like uh, rotten, or another thing can be your vegetables that something like you cannot eat it because it's too old already to eat. So that's an example of your biodegradable waste. Next is we have your yellow bin, which is for recyclable waste. So your recyclable waste, so that includes your glass bottles, your paper or beverage cans or plastic containers. And then you have your red bin, which is your hazardous or dangerous materials. So like for example, like your light bulbs, your spray cans, or your pesticides. So you cannot use them to place it in your recyclable waste, even though you can recycle the can, but still the content or the inside of that can is toxic or poisonous. So you're going to place it in the red bin. Okay, so this time let's answer your page 140 of your science book. So for number one, so give examples of how you apply the concept of 3 R's in your daily life. So you can have different answers for this, but as a guide, I'll give you number one. So reduce. So I will not use plastic spoon and fork and disposable plates. So for reuse, so I'm going to use both sides of my paper if there are still spaces. And number three, recycle. So I will buy products that can be recycled, like your glass bottles. Okay, for number 2, so we have to check an X. So let's read each sentence carefully. So number 1, so recycling used plastic into new products is the way of reduction. Is it check or X? So it is an X because recycling used product is recycle. It's recycling. It's not reduction. Okay. Next, number 2, using food plastic in good condition again is the way of reusing. So this is correct. So do you remember about like old clothes? So if you don't want to wear it, so you can donate it or give it to the charity so that other people can use it for you. Number 3, food plastic bags are made from plastic type 2 HDPE or your high-density polyethylene plastic. So the answer is no. So it is made up of type 5, which is your PP or your polypropylene. Number 4, so foam food container are produced by plastic type 6 polystyrene and can be dropped in the blue bin. So the answer is correct. So next, hazardous waste can be thrown away in the yellow bin. So the answer is no. So number 5, this is what I mean by your spray cans or your pesticide can. So even if you can recycle that can, still the content or the inside of the can are dangerous. So you cannot place it in the yellow bin. So it should always be in the red bin. Okay, for number 3, so the beach is full of trash such as plastic bags, plastic bottles, plastic straws, and bamboo skewers. So how will you clean the beach efficiently? So you just imagine so the beach is dirty. So as a student of Taklong 1 school, so how do you plan to clean the beach efficiently? So there are many ways that you can think, but let me share to you my idea. So number 1, so I'm going to call my friends for help because I cannot do this task alone because the beach is very big. It's very wide. So it will be faster if I call my friends for help. Number 2, so prepare tools like your rubber gloves, your bean bag, your trash bin, and your mask for protection. So always protect yourself before protecting or helping others. Number 3, divide the group into 4 because remember, there were like 4 trash bins. So each trash bin has classification. So you have your biodegradable, general waste, hazardous, and unrecyclable. Next, so after dividing the group into 4, so you're going to go to the beach and collect the trash according to your group. So if your group is about biodegradable, so you're going only to pick up those things that are biodegradable. And after collecting it, after, shall we say, 1 hour or 2 hours, so you're going to meet again and place each waste in the bin bag to each correct trash bins. So if the bin bag that you have has hazardous material, so you're going to place it in your red trash bin. If you're holding the biodegradable or or the plastic bin or trash bin that you have there can be a biodegradable waste, so you're going to place it in your green bin. If it can be recycled, such as your plastic or your cans, then you're going to place it in your yellow bin. So that ends the lesson for this video, M3, and I think also this is the overall lesson of your Unit 3 materials. So we are finished already with your polymers, ceramics, and composites. So once again, thank you for watching, and don't forget to submit your homework through your Google Classroom. So thank you and stay safe always. Goodbye and take care.